Let me tell you about a man named Ronald Read. Ronald Read was a janitor. He spent most of his life cleaning floors at a JCPenney department store in Vermont. He drove a beat-up old car held together by rust and hope. He wore clothes held together with safety pins. He chopped his own firewood to save money on heating bills. His friends thought he was broke. His family thought he was struggling. Nobody at work suspected anything. When Ronald Read died in 2014 at the age of 92, they opened his estate and found $8 million. $8 million from a janitor who never earned more than $20 an hour in his entire life. And here's the thing that nobody talks about. Ronald Read was not special. He was not lucky. He did not win the lottery. He did not start a business. He did not inherit a single dollar. He just understood something about money that most people will go their entire lives never figuring out. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand it too. My name is Weston, and I spend way too much time thinking about why ordinary people with ordinary incomes end up with extraordinary wealth, while high earners with fancy lifestyles end up with absolutely nothing. If you are someone who works hard every month but cannot figure out where all the money goes, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now let us get into it. Here is what most people do not realize. The way we think about wealth is completely backwards. We think wealthy people look wealthy. Nice car, designer clothes, big house, expensive watch, business class flights. But here is the thing. The research consistently shows the opposite is true. Thomas Stanley spent 20 years studying American millionaires for his book, The Millionaire Next Door. And what he found completely challenged everything we think we know about rich people. The average American millionaire drives a Ford F-150, buys their suits off the rack, lives in a house worth less than $400,000, has lived in the same neighborhood for over 20 years, and shops at the same grocery store as you. They do not look rich. They do not act rich, because they are too busy actually being rich to waste time performing richness for other people. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what about the people I see driving Lamborghinis and wearing Rolexes? Here is what the data actually says. Studies consistently show that in most cases, the people driving luxury cars are not the wealthiest people on the street. They are often the most leveraged, meaning they are financing that car. They are leasing that watch. They are one bad month away from the whole thing collapsing. Look, I am not saying wealthy people never spend money. They do. But there is a fundamental difference between how rich people spend and how people trying to look rich spend. And that difference is everything. So why do most people spend money trying to look wealthy instead of actually building wealth? The answer is psychology. There is a concept called social signaling. Every purchase we make sends a message to the world around us. When you buy a new car, you are not just buying transportation. You are buying a signal that says, I am successful, I am doing well, I have made it. And here is the brutal truth. Nobody actually cares. In his book, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel makes a point that completely stopped me. He says, when you see someone driving a nice car, you do not think, wow, that person is successful. You think, I wonder what it would feel like if I drove that car. The car does not make people respect the owner. It makes people fantasize about themselves. So the person spending $1,000 a month on a luxury car payment, to impress people, is spending $1,000 a month on something that nobody is even noticing. Now let us run that math. $1,000 a month on a car payment. Instead of investing that $1,000 every month in an S&P 500 index fund at 10% average annual return, after 10 years, $204,000. After 20 years, $765,000. After 30 years, $2,260,000, $2.2 million, gone. Spent on a signal nobody received. So how did Ronald Read actually do it? Because he was a janitor. He never earned a high salary. He never had a windfall. The answer is almost offensively simple. Ronald Read followed 3 rules his entire life. Rule 1, he spent less than he earned, every single month, without exception. Not sometimes, not when it was easy, every single month, no matter what was happening around him, no matter what his friends were buying, no matter what was on sale. The gap between what came in and what went out was sacred to Ronald Read. Rule 2, he invested the difference consistently. Ronald Read invested in individual dividend-paying stocks. He bought shares in companies he understood. Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, J.P. Morgan. companies that paid him dividends just for owning their stock, and he reinvested every single dividend. Every payment the company sent him, he used to buy more shares. Not spend, not withdraw, reinvest. This is called the dividend reinvestment strategy, and over decades, it creates a compounding snowball that becomes almost unstoppable. Rule 3, he never stopped. Not during the 1987 crash, not during the dot-com bubble, not during 2008. While everyone else was panicking, Ronald Read was buying. He just kept going, kept reinvesting, kept building. Here is what most people do not realize about building wealth on a normal income. It is not about the size of the paycheck. It is about the gap between what comes in and what goes out, and what you do with that gap consistently over a very long period of time. Ronald Read worked as a janitor for decades. If he saved just $300 a month from age 25 and invested it consistently at 10% returns, by age 92 that $300 a month becomes over $15 million. He did not need a high salary. He needed time and consistency. And he had both. This is where it gets really interesting, because stealth wealth is not just about being cheap. It is a complete invisible system for building money that nobody around you can see, and it works in 4 specific ways. Way 1, eliminate status spending. Status spending is any money you spend primarily to impress other people. The upgraded car when a basic one would do. The designer outfit for a meeting. The business class upgrade on a short flight. The expensive restaurant when a cheaper one serves the same food. None of these purchases make you wealthier. They make you look wealthier. And looking wealthy and being wealthy are not just different. They are often opposites. Way 2. Drive the math of invisibility. Every dollar you do not spend on status goes to work for you instead. Ronald Read did not spend $500 a month on appearances. That $500 a month over 40 years at 10% returns is $3.1 million. The janitor did not have a $3.1 million salary. He had a $3.1 million decision. Way 3. Automate the gap. The most powerful thing you can do is make wealth building automatic. The moment your paycheck hits, before rent, before food, before anything, a fixed amount moves automatically into your investment account. You never see it. You never miss it. But 20 years from now, it is the difference between working because you have to and working because you want to. Way 4. Ignore the audience. This is the hardest one, because we are social creatures. We care what people think. But here is what stealth wealth practitioners understand that most people never figure out. The people you are trying to impress with your car and your clothes and your lifestyle are too busy worrying about impressing you to notice any of it. The game is rigged. Everyone is performing for an audience that is not watching. The moment you stop performing, you win. Let me show you exactly what stealth wealth looks like in real numbers over time. Meet 2 people, same age, same income. Both earning $4,000 a month take home. Person A, the status spender. Car payment, $600 a month. Designer clothes, $200 a month. Eating out and appearances, $400 a month. Total status spending, $1,200 a month. Invests, $200 a month. After 30 years at 10%, $452,000. Person B, the stealth wealth builder, basic reliable car, paid off. Normal clothes, functional and clean. Cooks at home most of the time. Total status spending, 0. Invests, $1,400 a month. After 30 years at 10%, $3,166,000. Same income, same 30 years. Person A, $452,000. Person B, $3,166,000. The difference? $2,714,000. $2.7 million. The price of looking rich instead of being rich. Now you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but where do I actually start? Here are 3 steps you can take today. Step 1. Audit your status spending. Go through your last 3 months of bank statements. Highlight every purchase you made primarily to signal something to other people. Add it up. That number will shock you. Step 2. Redirect the gap. Take at least 50% of your status spending and redirect it immediately into an S&P 500 index fund, VOO or SPY. Set it to automatic on payday. Never touch it. Step 3. Play the long game. The stealth wealth strategy does not work in 1 year. It works over decades. Ronald Read did not build $8 million in a month. He built it over 60 years of boring, consistent decisions. The boring path is the wealthy path. The flashy path is the broke path. Most people choose wrong. Let me bring it all together. Ronald Read was a janitor. He never earned a high salary. He never looked rich. He died with $8 million. Here is how he did it. He spent less than he earned every month. He invested the difference consistently. He never stopped no matter what. He ignored what other people thought. The stealth wealth strategy is not complicated. It is just uncomfortable.
Because it requires you to stop performing for people who are not watching. The moment you make that decision, everything changes. Look, the most expensive thing most people own is not their house. It is not their car. It is the version of themselves they perform for other people every single month. Ronald Read chose differently, and so can you. The question is not whether you can afford to build stealth wealth. The question is whether you can afford not to.